Let's start in child's pose. And if that's really uncomfortable for you, you can start lying down. But otherwise, let's take the knees wide to the edges of the mat. Let the belly rest in between the thighs. Hands reaching overhead. Forehead rests on the mat. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. You do that again. Take a full belly breath in and a long breath out. And then just settle in here into this moment, into your body. And begin to notice your inhales and your exhales. And just notice them. Don't try to deepen them or control them or manipulate them. Just notice them. I will forever remember Yellowstone Glacier Lake at midnight. A large full moon, the biggest I've ever seen, was resting atop the lake. The lake was frozen over a still mirror between the mountains. Even the pines stood motionless. At that moment, I saw stillness, quiet, motionless stillness, and I began to understand its power. Be still and know that I am God. How often I hear that verse from the Bible, how well I knew it, but how little I understood stillness. Stillness is different from solitude, different from aloneness, different from turning off the stereo or speaking softly. Stillness is a place. You can find it in the desert or in the mountains. You can find it when you're alone or when you're in the midst of people. You can find stillness wherever you are, whatever you're going through. Stillness is a place within you. Slow down, breathe deeply, get quiet, become familiar with stillness. Take time to learn its power. So as we move through practice today, can you find stillness? Right? Stillness in a pose, stillness in the mind, stillness in the midst of movement, right? I think that for me, as we start to transition to kind of life out of quarantine and things open up, the busyness starts to feel a little bit overwhelming, right? And so being able to tap into that stillness in the midst of life returning to normal is comforting. So begin to deepen your breath. You're going to walk your fingertips forward and you're going to come up to hands and knees. So you're in that tabletop position. Your shoulders are stacked over your wrist. Your hips are over your knees. You're going to take the right hand and you're going to lift it up to the sky, and then you're going to thread it underneath the left arm. Roll down onto that right shoulder. Right cheek comes down to the mat. Right, just this gentle opening up of the shoulder this morning. So you can press down into that left hand. You can take the left palm and put it onto the right palm if you need a little bit more sensation, but it's early, right? Right, and you breathe in. And you breathe out and you just notice, right? Notice what's alive here, what's present. You notice the sounds around you. Murphy barking in the background, right? I'm sure Chase will pop in soon. You Take a breath in and a breath out. And so even in this moment of physical stillness, notice what's going on in the body, right? Where's the movement? On your next inhale, you're going to unwind that right arm. It's going to come back up to the sky. And then on the exhale, you're going to place the right hand down. Reposition yourself. And then the left hand's going to lift up to the sky. And then you're going to thread it underneath the right arm. Left shoulder coming down to the mat. Left cheek resting on the mat. And you breathe here, and you notice. This side, right? We have different sides, different sensations, different thoughts about those sides, right? And take a breath in. That left hand unwinds, reach it up to the sky. Open up, and then on the exhale, the left hand comes down. So you're back in that tabletop. Really hug the belly button into the spine, engage the core. You're going to move through some cat-cow, so take a breath in. Heart lifts, belly drops. Good morning, Jenny. On the exhale, the spine rounds. Inhale, heart lifts, belly drops. Exhale, you press down in through the hands, around the spine. Good, keep moving like that. Your breath, your movement, right? Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, round the spine, come into cat. Inhale, you lift. Exhale, you round. Do 2 more of those on your own. And then come into stillness here in the neutral spine, right? And notice the mind. Is it busy or is it still waking up? And stillness is an easy option, right? Depending on the time of day. Right, so here you are in a neutral spine. You're going to take a breath in and you're going to lift that right leg in the air behind you. Really engage the core, hug everything into the center line. The spine is long, the crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. That left hand lifts out in front of you. Extend from the left fingertips all the way through the right foot. Right foot is flexed. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, left elbow comes to the right knee. You hug everything into the belly, at the center. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. One more. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract everything and hug it in. Pause here for a breath in and a breath out. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lengthen, and then left hand comes down to the mat. Good. Take a breath in. That left leg lifts on an inhale, and then when you're ready, that right hand lifts out in front of you. Right, and where can you find stillness here, right? The body's still here in this moment, but can you smooth out the breath? Take a breath in, you lengthen. On the exhale, you contract in, right elbow to left knee, everything into the center line. Inhale, you lengthen, stretch it out. Exhale, you contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract, hold it in. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Your next inhale, you lengthen out. Right hand comes down, left knee comes down. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to tuck your toes, lift your hips, and come into downward facing dog. All right, so here in downward facing dog, your hands are spread wide. Feet are hip distance apart. Shoulders are moving away from the ears. Hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. Maybe you bend your knees, right? It's the first down dog of the morning. Sometimes my body's a little cranky this hour, right? And you just notice, maybe you paddle out. So maybe you're moving, but where can you find some stillness, some softness? Maybe it's the inside. You smooth out the breath. Maybe it's the mind. Take a breath in, come up to your toes, and then on the exhale, drop the heels over to the right. And as you're doing that, make sure that your hips are still square to the front of the mat. So you're just dropping the heels over to the right. Good, take a breath in, heels come back to center, and then on the exhale, the heels drop over to the left side of the mat. Feel that stretch in the calves. Beautiful, take a breath in, you come back to center with the heels, and on the exhale, let them sink towards the mat. Feel the stretch on the back side of the calves. Beautiful. All right, here we go. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to walk your hands back to your feet so you're at the back of the mat. Take a breath in. Halfway lift so arms reach out behind you, spine is long. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. You're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand, ground down into your feet, and on the exhale, lean towards the right side of the room. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You come back to center and then switch hands. Left wrist grabs the right. Left hand grabs the right wrist. And you lean over towards the left. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you fold forward. You're going to walk yourself out to plank. You're going to pause and plank so your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Balls of your heels are stacked over the balls of your feet. Beautiful. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to walk your feet to your hands. So you're at the top of the mat in a forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Right arm comes down by your side. Left hand stretches over towards the right side of the room. Keep grounding down into that left foot. Take a breath in. Arms reach back overhead. Exhale, left hand comes down. Right hand stretches over. Keep opening up across the heart. Take a breath in. You come back to center. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. You plant your hands. You step back to plank. You pause here in plank. You take a breath in and a breath out. This time, you're going to walk your hands back to your feet. You come to the back of your mat. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. This time the left hand comes forward, the right hand comes back. You're going to twist open towards the right side of the room. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, right hand comes forward, left hand comes back. Let the shoulders fall away from your ears. Take a breath in, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you fold forward. And where can you find stillness here, right? Maybe your mind is like, what is going on this morning, right? Take a breath into a halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. You walk your hands back out to plank. You pause here in plank. Right, you take a breath in and a breath out. Walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Arms reach up overhead. You're going to interlace your hands. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to lean over towards the right side of the room. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, you lean towards the left side of the room. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold, you step back to plank, you pause in plank. You take a breath in and a breath out. You walk your hands back to your feet. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you drop your hands behind your back, interlace your hands. It's early, so gentle opening up, right? Cross the shoulders. You take a breath in and a breath out. Maybe you twist towards the right on the exhale. You come back to center on the inhale, and then you twist towards the left side of the room on the exhale. Come back to center, unclasp the hands, arms reach up overhead on an inhale. Exhale, you fold, you walk your hands back out to plank. You pause here in plank. You take a full breath in and a breath out. You're gonna walk your feet to your hands. You're at the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you fold forward. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. You plant your hands. You step back to plank. You pause in plank. And where can you find stillness here? So you're in movement, but everything is engaged, right? You're breathing. Maybe your mind is saying, oh, let's just go to sun A's. I don't like those inchworms. You can thank Steph Campanelli for those, right? Take a breath in and a breath out. You're still in plank. Next exhale, you lower down all the way down to the mat. Inhale, the heart lifts to cobra. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Exhale, you lower. Do 2 more. Inhale, heart lifts. Engage the core, hands are light. Exhale, you lower down. Last one. Inhale, the heart lifts. Exhale, you lower. You make your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a full breath in and a long breath out. Inhale, you look forward, you walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you fold. You know this halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you empty out and fold. You plant your hands, you step back to plank. You pause in plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, you lower, push back through hands or knees or through plank to downward facing dog. All right. Take a breath in and a breath out. You look forward, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you ground down, you rise to standing, arms reach up. Maybe you look up. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold, you plant your hands, you step back to plank. You pause and plank. You take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right, so even in this midst of this movement that you know, right, can you find stillness here? Take a breath in and a breath out. We're going to go through one more. Sun A. Look forward, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you ground down, you rise to standing. Arms reach up. Maybe you look up. Exhale, you fold forward. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you plant your hands. You step back to plank. You pause here in plank. Yep, you're still pausing, right? So engage the core, shoulders are stacked over the wrist, really press into the hands, puff up that space between your shoulder blades, lift the thigh bones up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in, and that right leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it in between your hands, so you're in a low lunge. So here you are in that low lunge, the right knee stacked over the right ankle, the left thigh bone's lifting up towards the ceiling. Right, the spine is long, hands are framing that right foot. And take a breath in. The right foot's going to step back to plank. So here you are in plank. You're going to take a breath in, and you're going to drop your heels over towards the right, and your left hand's going to reach up towards the side plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, the left hand comes down. The heels drop over to the left, and the right hand lifts up to the sky. Side plank. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Right hand comes down. You push back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in. The left leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it forward in between the hands, low lunge. So really engage the core here in low lunge, right? So here we are in the stillness of a pose, right? But everything's still engaged. Right, beautiful. Take a breath in. Left foot steps back to meet the right. You're back in high plank. Take a breath in. Heels drop over to the left. Right hand lifts up to the sky. Press down into the left hand, side plank. Exhale, right hand comes down. Heels drop over towards the right. Left hand comes up. Side plank on this side. Roll that left shoulder onto the back. Take a breath in. Exhale, that left hand comes down. You're in plank. You push back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in and a breath out. Right leg lifts to the sky on an inhale. Exhale, you step it in between the hands, low lunge. Left hand stays down, right hand comes up, low lunge twist. So really roll that right shoulder onto the back. As you breathe in, the spine lengthens, and on the exhale, can you roll the shoulder and the right rib cage up towards the ceiling? Beautiful. Take a breath in. Right hand comes down to the mat. Inhale, the upper body lifts, high crescent lunge. So engage the abdomen. So you're still in, the legs are still in that low lunge position. So the right knee stacked over the right ankle. You're on the ball of the left foot. Keep lifting the left thigh bone up towards the ceiling, right? And can you find stillness here in your mind, right? Like check in, take a breath in, arms reach up if they're not already. Exhale, plant the hands. You're going to step back to plank, right? You know where we're going here. We're going to do that little side plank thing. So take a breath in. Heels are going to drop over to the right. Left hand lifts on an inhale. Exhale, the left hand comes down. Heels drop over to the left. Inhale, that right hand lifts. Exhale, right hand comes down. You can move through a flow here, or you can push back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, the left leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, you step the left foot in between the hands, low lunge. Low lunge twist, so the right hand or left hand lifts up to the sky. Right, keep bending into that left knee. Roll the left shoulder onto the back. Roll the left rib cage up towards the ceiling. Open up across the heart. Take a breath in. Left hand comes down to the mat. Inhale, you rise to high crescent lunge. Arms or hands can be at heart center, or they can be reaching up overhead. Pause here. Smooth out the breath. Right, find some stillness within. All right, the body may be still. The breath is moving. Is the mind chattering? Take a breath in. Arms reach up overhead if they're not already. Exhale, you fold. Hands come down to the mat. Step back to plank. Yep, you got it. Heels drop over to the left. Right hand lifts up to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes down. Inhale, heels drop to the right. Left hand reaches up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Either move through a flow or push back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, take a full breath in and a long breath out. Right leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, you step it forward in between the hands, low lunge. Inhale, that left hand stays down, the right hand lifts up, low lunge twist. You take a breath in, and on the exhale, the right hand comes down. Inhale, you rise up to high crescent lunge. From here, you're going to take a breath in, and that left hand's going to come forward, the right hand's going to come back. So let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Keep the hip bones pointing towards the front of the room. Keep lifting up through that left thigh bone. Bending into the right knee. Beautiful. Take a breath in and a breath out. Left hand comes down to the mat. Right hand lifts up, back in that low lunge twist. Right hand comes down. Right foot steps back to plank. Right? Take a breath in. Right heels drop over towards the right and the left hand lifts on an inhale to side plank. Take a breath in. On the exhale, that left hand comes down. Heels drop to the left. Right hand lifts on an inhale. Exhale, the right hand comes down. You're in plank. Take a full breath in. Either move through vinyasa on the exhale or make your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in, left leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, you step the foot in between the hands, low lunge. Take a breath in, low lunge twist, the left hand lifts up to the sky. Exhale, that left hand comes down. Inhale, you rise up to high crescent lunge. Smooth out the breath here. Right, so the mind likes to take over because you know where we're going here, right? So take a breath in, find stillness. Arms reach up overhead, right hand comes forward, left hand comes back, twist. So the twist comes from the waist, right? So hip bones keep pointing towards the front of your room. You keep bending into that left knee. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Soften the face. Take a breath in. Exhale, that right hand comes down. Low lunge twist. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale, the left hand comes down. And here we go to the side plank. So take a breath in. Heels drop over to the left. Inhale, the right hand lifts up to the sky. Exhale, the right hand comes down. Heels drop over to the right. And on an inhale, that left hand lifts. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. You take a breath in, and on the exhale, you either move through vinyasa or make your way back to downward facing dog. When you get to downward facing dog, you're going to take your knees wide to the mat and drop into child's pose. Come into some physical stillness. Check in with the mind, the thoughts. Can you slow down? Can you breathe? Quiet the mind. You're going to walk your fingertips forward and then walk them over towards the right side of your room. Maybe walk them off the mat, press down into your hands, and then shift the left hip back towards the left heel. Feel that stretch on the side body. Take a breath in, hands come back to center, and on the exhale, walk them over towards the left side of the room. Right hip shifts back towards the right heel. And sometimes we need a physical pause to come into stillness. Sometimes it's the breath that brings us into stillness. Right, but that getting comfortable with that stillness helps us to be present. It allows us to take a time out whenever we need it. Take a breath in, walk your hands back to center, press down into the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, take a breath in, look forward, walk, step, or jump, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you bend the knees, you sit the hips. Chair. All right, so here in chair, the weight's in the back side of your body. The toes are light, heart's lifted. Belly button's hugging into the spine. Hands can be at heart center, or they can be framing the ears. Right, and you breathe here, so you're in physical stillness, but what's going on the inside, right? Can you still find some stillness in the chatter of the mind? Smooth out the breath. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Take your feet wide. Grab opposite elbows, come into ragdoll for a moment. Take a breath in. Exhale, fingertips come down to the mat. Left hand stays down. Bend into the left knee. Right hand lifts up to the sky. Exhale, the right hand comes down. Left hand lifts. Bend deeply into that right knee. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Left hand comes down. You're going to toe heel your feet back to hip distance. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you're going to bend the knees, sit the hips, lift up into chair. Hands are going to stay at heart center to keep the weight in the back side of the body. You're going to take a breath in, and on the exhale, the left elbow is going to come to the outside of the right knee. And the left knee is going to want to pop forward, so you want to work on keeping the knees parallel together. Take a breath in, you come back to center. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, you twist and tap elbow to knee. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, right elbow taps to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, you come back to center. Right, you got it? We're just doing twists here on the abs, so keep the knees together. They're going to want to pop forward, so the motion, the movement comes from the waist. The lower body stays the same. Right, and even though you're in movement here, you're going to keep moving. Inhale, you come to center. Exhale, you twist. Inhale, you come to center. Exhale, you twist, right? Where can you find some stillness, right? Is it stillness in the mind? Like, oh, these are whatever, right? Like, oh, I didn't sign up for this morning, right? So where can you find some stillness? Do 2 more on each side. And come back to chair. Inhale, arms reach up, legs straighten. You come up to standing. Exhale, you fold. Right leg lifts in the air behind you. You're in standing splits. So here, really press down into the left foot. Pull up through the left thigh bone. Right foot's flexed. Right. Heart's reaching forward. Kind of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Pull the belly button into the spine. Right. Maybe you walk your hands towards the left ankle and play with the balance. Take a breath in and a breath out. Your next inhale, you're going to bring the right leg up into tree is where we're going. So you're going to swing it through standing, and then the right inside of the right foot's going to come to the, oh, I can't talk this morning. Sole of the right foot's going to come into the inside of the left thigh or the left calf, or toes can come down to the mat. Whew, that was rough. Good thing I told you where we were going, right? So here you are in tree pose. So you're grounding down into that left foot, reaching up. So arms can be reaching up overhead. They can be at heart center. You can close your eyes. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to take the right foot off of the left leg. You're going to keep it lifted, and then you're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh to make the number 4. And then you're going to bend the left knee, sit the hips back, come into standing pigeon. So here, again, the arms can frame the ears, or the hands can be at heart center. If you want, you can bring the hands down to the mat. But tap into that place of stillness inside of you. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to uncross the right foot. It's going to come down to meet the left. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you fold. Left leg lifts on an inhale, standing splits. Right, so stay here. You know where we're going. Right, the element of surprise is taken. So can you stop the movement in your mind to go there? Stay here in this pose. Right. Heart's reaching forward. Maybe walk your hands towards the right ankle. Maybe both hands grab the ankle, maybe one hand. Play with the balance. Great opportunity to find stillness in the mind, right? Because balance is challenging. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to swing that left leg through standing and come into tree. Sole of the left foot. The inside of the right calf or right thigh, or maybe the toes touch down on the mat. Right, different side. We balance different. As Heidi always said, balancing is not innate, so it's practice. I mean, we have to practice it. Stillness is not innate in us, I think, in this world that we live in. It's constant motion, constant distraction, constant stimulation. So we have to practice being still. You have to practice being physically still, mentally still. Stillness in the midst of movement. And here you are in tree. You're going to take the left foot off of the right leg. Keep it lifted. You're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. Bend that right knee. Sit the hips back. Standing pigeon. Maybe the hands come down to the mat. You play with the arm balance. Notice the breath moving. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to straighten the right leg. Left foot comes down to the mat. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you fold forward. Halfway lift on a breath in. Arms reach out behind you. Shoulders come onto the back. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you plant your hands. You step back to plank. You pause and plank. Heels drop over towards the right. Left hand lifts up. Side plank last time. Exhale, left hand comes down. Heels drop over to the left. Right hand lifts. Exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. You take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on a breath in. Exhale, you lower. Make your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to walk your feet through your hands, come down to your back, hug knees into your chest. Maybe you rock side to side here for a moment. Right, and as we wind down, an opportunity to, even though we're going to be physically still, can you be mentally still here, right? Stay present. Don't start planning the day. So soles of the feet are going to come to the mat. You're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee, coming into pigeon on our back, right? So we just did that standing. So you're going to take the right hand and push the right knee away from your face. Flex that right foot. And if that's enough sensation for you this morning, that's fine. Stay there. If not, you can take your hands and clasp them around your left thigh and lift the left leg. If you do lift the left leg, keep that left foot flexed as well. Right, and so then as you're pulling the left knee towards your face, you're pushing the right knee away from you, right? So there's this dual action, so you feel that stretch in the hip. Right, so there's stillness in the body here, but can you create that stillness in the mind? Take a breath in and a breath out. If your left foot is lifted, you're going to bring the sole of your left foot to the mat. You're going to uncross the right ankle, left leg goes out long. The left knee is going to come in. You're going to take the left hand and cross the left knee over the body. And the right hand reaches out to the side. You look out over the right shoulder, keeping the shoulder blades down on the mat. And take a breath in and a breath out. You come back to center. That right sole of the right foot comes down to the mat. You take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee. Take the left hand, push the left knee away from your face. Pause there, right? Really check in. What is it that you need here in this moment, right? Part of that getting still is noticing what it is that we need and then honoring that. And if you need to lift the right leg, go ahead and do that. Keeping the feet flexed. Take a breath in and then breath out. You're going to uncross that left leg. Right leg is going to go out long. Take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Cross it over your body. And spinal twist here. You can look out over the left shoulder. And breathe and notice. Take a breath in. Unwind. Both soles of the feet are come to the outside edges of the mat, and you're going to drop both knees over towards the right side of your room. Maybe you take that right foot and place it on top of the left thigh. All right, you just breathe here. And take a breath in, you come back to center, drop the knees over to the left, and look out over the right shoulder. And sometimes it is in the stillness where we find the answers we're looking for, where we find the ability to recharge, to reset. Stillness requires being brave enough to know that you need stillness in this world that's constant movement. Take a breath in, knees come back to center. Hug both knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a hug. Inhale, legs go straight up in the air. Hands can be by your side, and they can be underneath your low back. You can point your feet, you can flex them. Take a breath in and a breath out. Right foot comes down to the mat and then the left. Right leg goes out long, left leg goes out long. If you need anything else before Shavasana, feel free to take that. Otherwise, we're going to enter into this final pose, right? This ultimate offering of stillness. Stillness of the body, of the mind. The stillness of rest. So take a full breath in and a long breath out. Let the back side of the body sink into the mat. Palms can be facing up, or if you need them a little bit more grounding, you can have them facing the mat. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Unhinge the jaw. Soften the space between your eyes. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Shavasana. If your mind wanders, bring it back. Invite it to come back to stillness. Start to deepen your breath. Bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. And keeping your eyes closed, roll gently to your right side and pause. Stillness is a place. You can find it in the desert or in the mountains. You can find it when you're alone or when you're in the midst of people. You can find stillness wherever you are, whatever you're going through. Stillness is a place within you. Slow down, breathe deeply, get quiet. Become familiar with stillness and take time to learn its power. Keeping your eyes closed, help yourself up to seated. Together, take a breath in, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Pause. Thumbs rest on the heart space. In the midst of stillness, you feel your heart beat. Together, take a full breath in and a long breath out. The light and truth in me sees and honors that in each of you. Thank you for showing up this morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Together we say, Namaste.